Namaskar sir, I'm Neha, Hyderabad city.
Thank you.
It was an honor to see you here in Hyderabad. Sir, my question is, you've been going around for 100 days, not 100 years life for you. So 100 days, I want to be, and the initiatives which the soil of their country. And
You think there will be some kind of sane routine?
but that's what I want to know, what you were eating, how you were like, it will be not
On an average, there have been days where we have done 9 plus events, not just riding. See, right now I rode from Sholapur to here because we entered Karnataka there. They
the question was that save soil, the concept is you went to other taking.
pages. Given nation, 193 nations. But
one of the world's voices and leaders on soil conservation and land. In this day and age, having you here is absolutely fantastic, and we welcome you.
Implementation has to happen on the land, and land is not managed by scientists, land is managed by farmers. So it's extremely important. It must be a single-point agenda, incentive-based agenda. If inspiration, incentives and disincentives after a certain period of time is the way forward, this is my appeal to every one of you. because I don't want this COP15 to end as one more convention with more paper and more paper. This must end with concrete action, and action in such a way that it's implementable.
There is no word to describe what Sadhguru is doing for us.
We know how much, you had to do to get here. You left so many things you were doing with it, but you honored the country, you honored the people of this country.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the head of state,
It's my pleasure.
I want to thank you very much.
It's a great privilege.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Save soil. Let's make it happen.
The Saudi Arabia as a kingdom, since 1970s, converting deserts into fertile lands has been quietly happening. Other countries which have fertile lands and actively working to turn them into deserts, you must put them to shame, it's very important. In so many ways we have found the differences between each other in terms of nationality, race, religion, caste, creed. If we act as one humanity, in the next 10-15 years we can turn this around.
We have already loved you a lot. We have even loved you even before seeing you. And when we saw you, we even fell in love even more.
بالعربي أنقذ التربة لنفعل ذلك على أرض الواقع بمبادرات عملية وجادة ملموسة الأثر. أنقذ التربة save soil.
We are very glad to have Sadhguru in the Kingdom of Bahrain.
You are capable of looking beyond your immediate well-being and doing something in the world that is worthwhile. Right now, this is not even about generosity, this is about survival.
If you don't understand what I'm saying, you may look at a few thing is great. You just looking out of the window, the western Ghats and northeastern part of India, in the summer months if you fly, it looks like a brown desert. This has happened all in 45 to 50 years' time. Earlier, anybody who always had cover crops to protect our lands. That's completely gone now. Nobody. Which nation? Well, in Europe there is a lot of talk. For example, this is because they are linking there in the environment. Aspects of Save Soil movement is to separate soil as a separate. To this right now, after 20-30 years' time, you will not be able to do anything. On an average, per year, 27,000 species, yes, you heard it right, it is 27,000 species, not organisms, are going extinct. At this rate, where it is sliding down, somewhere in the next 25 to 40 years, this loss of biodiversity, instead of sliding down, it will start tumbling down. When it tumbles, there is nothing you and me can do. There is simply nothing. We have to act before that. See, everybody asks this thing and everybody wants to teach their children. Don't tell your children soil is in this condition, because then I'll ask, Mama, why did you do it? Why did you destroy the soil? They will ask you. So don't tell them, just fix it before they come to know about it. That's very important. How do you fix it? Shall I go and roll up my sleeves and fix my kitchen garden? Many of you living in apartments, maybe your kitchen garden is just 2 pots. So fixing that, very cute of you, but it's not a solution. The solution is in the agricultural land. The problem is in the agricultural land and the solution is in the agricultural land. You cannot go and fix the agricultural land personally, yourself. What is needed is an incentive-based policy to turn the organic content around. So incentives are needed to make this happen. This is what we are pushing for. Incentives are not too expensive. If you want to do it in 6 to 8 years, it is minimal expense. If you want to do it in 1 or 2 years, then it will cost more.
Sir, regarding
Please take the microphone, whoever it is.
you were saying that there is still debate going on where they are linking soil with other environmental issues. So, however, there is some kind of a balance required, because in one initiative, if you just go ahead and plant several lakhs of trees,
we are not talking about trees alone.
No, it will affect the soil and the groundwater table. So, isn't it all linked? Don't you see it?
No, I do not know where you're coming from, this specific activity of planting trees. Planting trees is just one of the things. And if your soil becomes rich, will it affect other aspects? I want you to understand, pure air, clean water, for everything you need rich soil, otherwise it won't happen. It just won't happen. Now please articulate that question properly.
Yeah, so, what I'm saying is, shouldn't all the environmental issues go in tandem? You're saying, see it as a separate issue.
Because it is a separate issue. See, right now you have no food to eat. Should we attend to that first? Or should we clean your ears with the earbuds? Which is more important? This is also important if everything is well. But when there is no food, first thing is to get the food, isn't it? Right now, this is a question of ecological collapse. Soil extinction is what we're talking about. It is a nutritional collapse. It is a food security issue. It is also our economics. Everything is involved in this. If you don't tend to that, if you bring in other aspects there are various industries and lobbies who have interest in that. If you suddenly say, all the fossil fuels should stop, can you stop it? You can only talk about it. Can you really stop it? Hello?
Absolutely, you can't.
You cannot. Then why do you talk about those things? Those things can be tapered down in the next 30, 40 years' time, but you cannot stop it. But turning the soil around is possible, and the best thing about this is nobody is against it. Oil industry is not against it, coal industry is not against it, automobile industry is not against it, fertilizer and pesticide industries are not against it. Nobody is against enriching the soil. So you must do that first. If you don't solve that problem, other problems will be irrelevant for you, because it's like this. If I have some health issue, I don't have any, but I'm telling you, because I didn't want to use you as an example.
Okay.
Suppose my liver is troubling me, liver specialist has come, my eye is bothering me, eye specialist has come, my ear is bothering me, ENT has come, but I died. What do you do with these people? Hello? What do you do with these people for a dead man? Right now that's where we are. If we don't attend to this, there will be serious consequences. I want you to know, top scientists in the world are clearly pointing out, by 2035, 3.5 billion people will be water stressed. 1.2 billion people will be migrating because of that. And by 2045, 40% less food will be producing with 9.2 billion population. Do you want to live in such a world? Or do you want to leave your children in such a world?
Obviously, so where do you think the issue of soil ranks amongst other environmental issues?
If it was not number one, I wouldn't risk my life. I want you to know, doing 30,000 kilometers across 27 nations and doing all these events, most people thought I will kill myself, but I have reached Hyderabad, all right? I will reach Coimbatore. But I'm saying, this is, I must tell you this, last 2.5 years I have been meeting so many agricultural ministries across the world. What I am most distressed about is, 85% of the nations still treat or address soil as an inert substance. You can fix it by adding a chemical or taking away a chemical. No. Soil is the largest and the most significant living system, not just on this planet, in the known universe. In the known universe, there is no such thing. You and me are a consequence of what's happening in the soil. It's not just about food. You as an evolutionary process, from an amoeba to what you have become, this complex life today, is because of the activity that's happening in the first 15 to 18 inches of topsoil. Because this is why you called it, in Andhra, in Telugu, what do you say for mother soil?
Matrubhumi.
No, Matrubhumi is different. No, for soil.
Bhumata.
Matti Pelli, is there a word like that? Term like that? You're making it up. No. Isn't there a word like, don't you address soil as mother? In Tamil they say Thai Mannu. So there's no Thai Mannu something attached to it? Okay. So we called soil as mother because it's the mother of our mothers, it's the source of our life. When you treat the source of your life as a resource, this is the situation you get into.
Sir, welcome to Hyderabad, sir. Yeah, and this is Kala, Prime 9 News Telugu. I have two questions, sir. First question is, इतने किलोमीटर आपने जर्नी किया, फिर भी बहुत एक्टिव है सर, इतना लोग का जवाब दे रही हूँ. And what is the secret, sir?
Last 40 years you've been telling you must do some yoga, but you're not listening to me.
Okay. But special, today is very special day now, sir.
What do you mean?
Space Oil Organization, इतने किलोमीटर आपने जर्नी किया.
That's what I'm saying. Last 40 years I've been telling you, you must do yoga.
Yeah.
You did not do, what can I do? If you do yoga, you would be like me.
Okay. Okay. And the Space Oil...
people are asking me, motorcycle riders, people who regularly ride, professional riders are asking, Sadhguru, how do you manage your back?
Yes.
Isn't your back hurting? I said, this is an advertisement for yogic back, it never hurts.
Yeah, and Space Oil, जो project आपने शुरू करने के लिए, what is the main concept, sir? And कब आपका मतलब planning किया? This is the main reason कुछ है sir आपका पीछे?
The last 30 years I've been talking about it.
Okay.
To many people, to ministers, heads of state, bureaucrats, scientists, all sorts of people and ordinary people of course. 30 years I've been here talking about it. Wherever I speak about it, people say, Sadhguru, this is great, what you're saying is really fantastic, and they'll sleep on it. Then I went about meeting all the people who are concerned with this in the many years now, and they all know the problem, and generally they all know the solution. Then I was wondering, they know the problem, they know the solution, what is the problem then? The problem is this, they were all waiting for an idiot to come and bell the cat. So here I am. Because it takes somebody who has no other vested interest. I don't have to win an election, I can say the truth about it. I don't have to get a salary from somebody, I can speak what I want to speak. Why I am saying this is, just 4 months ago, in the month of 5 months ago, or 6 months ago, I'm sorry, I've been on the road. In the month of January, there was an international conference on climate change. I met many environmental ministers of various nations who were there for 2 weeks. And they told me, Sadhguru, we were there for 2 weeks. We did not hear the word soil. Why is this? I said, you must ask them. I don't want to get into the politics of it because I want them also now for Safe Soil Movement. I don't want to divide the world between those who have their interests and those who are genuinely doing something. So you're talking about climate change. I want you to experiment this. It's, the summer has cooled down. In spite of that, tomorrow when the sun is up, wherever there is open soil, just go touch it, see what's the temperature. You don't need a meter, your hand will tell you. Touch it where there is grass, see how it feels, what's the temperature. Touch it where there is small bushes and things, see how it is. Go under big trees and touch it and see what it is. You will see a variation of anywhere between 8 to 12 degrees. This is climate change. This is not just for you, this is for every life. And the microbial life also needs shade and organic content to survive. They need moisture to survive. Where is it? You're plowing the land 12 to 14 inches and leaving it open to entire summer. This is the murder of the soil if we don't act now. Well, over 300,000 farmers have committed suicide in the last 25 years. What else does it take to wake up people? I don't understand. What else has to happen? You want 3 million people to die, is it? That will also come if we don't act now.
Namaskar Sadhguru, I am DK. First of all, I pray to God for your good health and long life. What a noble cause you are doing. And as you said that there must be some incentive for farmers to save the soil or nourish the soil. So as a guru, why don't you guide us or government or suggest what are the best incentives that can be given to farmers an attractive way as a guru?
No.
Because it will be easy for them.
Yes.
To follow.
We have already suggested three-pronged incentive basis for all governments. I'm not carrying it here, I could anyway send it to you by mail. The three-pronged incentive is like this. Right now, most of India is less than 0.5%. Okay, that's really bad. 62% of India's land or soil is less than 0.5%. It's almost going towards extinction. If you give an incentive, if you get it to 3%, we will give you this much. So will you do it in 3 years or 4 years or 6 years? You do it. In India, the farmland is divided between small and medium farmers and little larger farmers. Small and medium means below 5 acres of land. If you aim at them, they are 84.2% of the farmers are small and medium farmers. They are cultivating about 47.6% of the India's agricultural land. They will come for smaller incentives. On a yearly basis, if you give them a small incentive, they will start working towards it. How many ways to do it? There are hundreds of ways to do it. But we must understand, the only source of organic content on this planet or anywhere in this universe is plant life and animal life. If plant life and animal life does not come back under farm, there is no question of putting organic content into the soil. So for this there are many methods. One of the simplest, the most simple process is cover crops in the summer. Cover crop means you throw seeds of legumes, pulses, other kinds of dicotyledons and monocotyledons mixed up, because you're not trying to take any crop from that. It just covers the soil and it does its activities. When in India this was a common thing, if you've grown up on farms, you would know it's a very common thing. People will use it like fresh vegetable a little bit, and maybe sometimes their cattle will eat it. Otherwise, when the time comes, they'll just plow back the whole thing. Every year, 1.5 to 2 inches of humus would get back into the soil. This was one way of ensuring it never collapses. All farmers in this country were practicing this till about 40 years ago. Suddenly it's gone, because scientific advice we are giving them, all right? So one thing is cover crop. On an average, to give subsidy for seeds or to distribute seed to the farmer for just cover crop, which need not be hybrid crops and all that, local country seeds, it will just take 450 to 600 rupees per acre. Every government can easily do this, there is simply no question. So this is the simplest way. You can only go for small farmers or you can go for the whole country depending on what kind of budget. It's not for me to say that. The finance ministry in the country and in the states will decide. Center can only recommend and offer some kind of budget for the states so that states can take a more active thing, because the geography is in the hands of the states. The next thing is, there is something called as carbon credit market in the world. Last 7 years we've been trying very hard to get carbon credit for our farmers who have transformed their lands, but we have not been able to be successful. Even 1 inch movement has not happened, because it's like a maze that you can't break. So then what I realize is, these things are created for industry. The same thing is being applied for the farmers. It's simply impossible to fulfill those conditions. Because if it's an industry, you can go look at the chimney, what smoke is coming, measure it, and arrive at some, parameters. But a farmland is not like that. If you measure early morning, it will be one way. If you measure after the sun comes up, it will be another way. If moist, humid day, it will be one way. Dry day, it will be another way. Nobody can measure this. But general parameters are available internationally. So we have to come with a thumb rule way, which is not perfect way of doing things. But if you go for perfection, you will not do anything. This is the important thing we need to understand, because it's large-scale farming and it's 60% of the population. 3% organic content, if you put back into the soil, what is the carbon sequestration that's happening? There is some kind of a study, some average you have to arrive at. By thumb rule, if you have this much, you get this much money. That kind of carbon credit we must do. We have appealed to the Prime Minister, we are appealing to all the Chief Ministers, we are appealing to the corporate leaders in the country to crack this, and also the international bodies we are pushing this, so that unless farmers get carbon credit, right now there is serious debate in America that farmers should get somewhere around $80 to $100 per acre for carbon sequestration. So if you get $100 here for the people, because it's international market, if you get $100 per acre, it will make a big difference for the farmer. So that is the second level of incentive. The third level of incentive is, being mango season, let me use mango as an example. So if mango is growing in less than 1% organic content soil, what kind of micronutrients it has? And if it is growing in 3% organic content, what kind of micronutrients it has? There is enough science to tell you that. So if this much extra micronutrients you get, what is the kind of health benefits you have? What is the preventive health benefits you have? What is the lowering of stress on the medical system, the healthcare system in the country? The gain in mandates for the nation. Healthier populations are always more productive and more creative. So how the state and the nation will gain? All this data is there, we have to put it together. So if your 1% mango sits here in the marketplace, 3% has to sit here. You may have to pay 5–10% extra for this, but instead of eating 3 mangoes, 1 mango will give you the same nourishment. Suppose my farm is 6% organic content. Now my mango will sit on a higher shelf. Right now if you go to the market, they will say this mango is organic. What is the other one? Is it inorganic? Is there such a thing? So I am saying it's just a marketing term which doesn't mean anything. When you say something is organic, is there something else which is inorganic? There is no such thing. So it is important that we specify that this is coming from 3% organic content, 4%, 5%, 6%, whatever it is. And we have already established, manifested this with over 130,000 farmers, that if you raise it to 8 to 10% organic content, your irrigation requirement will come down to 30% of what you're doing right now. If you're using 100 liters of water, with 30 liters you can manage. This will be one of the most serious benefits for the nation and for the world, because water stress is coming in a huge way.
Good evening, sir.
అందరికీ ఒక విజ్ఞప్తి, ఒక్క నిమిషం అండి ప్లీజ్.
Hello, sir.
సమయం మించిపోతున్నందువలన ఇంకొక క్వశ్చన్, తర్వాత మన మెయిన్ ఈవెంట్ ప్రారంభం కాబోతోంది. దయచేసి ఇది ఒక లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ కింద తీసుకుందాము. దీని తర్వాత మనకి బయట ఆ ఈవెంట్కి వెళ్ళడానికి లారీ బస్సెస్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. సో దయచేసి ఇది లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ కింద ఉంచుకుందాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
My name is Sachin Prasad from Deccan.
Where are you?
Here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sir, I want to know how much faith does Sadhguru have in this project, given that high-level political deliberations have failed to even come to a conclusion regarding net zero emissions on the other side, and you have met like big-time politicians of the world. How much faith do you have in this project of becoming a success? I mean, I see it's written 100 days, 30,000 kilometers. What after that, sir? Thank you.
You're talking like a religious person. It's not a question of faith. It is a question of a plan and to implement the plan. And this is not the Gita or a Bible or Quran or something like that. This is a handbook, a technical handbook. So will they do it? 100% they will do it right now. Because tell me, if you are a political person, if 60% of the population says we want this, will you do it or no? I'm sorry? That's all we will do it. That's all.
I'll do it, sir. I'll do
Yes, that is all we are doing. We are not just doing this, we are, right now I want to tell you this. About 2 days ago we have the numbers, our social media metric. Without WhatsApp, we are not able to measure the WhatsApp. Without WhatsApp, we have touched about 2.8 billion people. What we were aiming at is 3.6 billion people. We are very confident we will get there. 3.6 billion people means it's 60% of the world's adult population. 5.26 billion people on this planet have franchise. That means they have the power to vote. If 3.6 billion people across the world say we are concerned about the future of the soil, we are concerned about the future of our children, you think the politicians will just sleep on it? They will not. So I am saying we have proper signed MOUs with most nations, 74 nations. Others are also looking at the handbook and they are studying that. They will take a little bit of time. Do I have faith in them? I have faith in human intelligence. It will act. Will it act too late or no? Depends on you. Depends on you. I am saying you as an individual citizen and you as a journalist, it depends on you. Because will you awaken people or will you go on talking cynicism of, oh, it won't happen, it won't happen. What is this? Why will it not happen if people want it? If people want it, it will happen. And who doesn't want it? Everybody wants it. You said fossil fuel emissions. This is why we want to separate soil from that. Fossil fuel emission, people, teenagers can come on the street and shout. But can you stop it? Right now these lights are burning. It doesn't matter what you know about it or you don't know about it. For these lights to burn, something is burning somewhere. Coal, oil, nuclear, something is burning, isn't it? Does it burn just like that? Does your camera work just like that? Does your phone work just like that? No. Something is burning always, isn't it? So all of us are partners in this destruction, knowingly or unknowingly. The only way around is all of us become partners in this solution. You should become a partner in this solution. Don't think, no, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to target you, I'm just, unfortunately this trend is there in the country, so I'm saying, do not think there is some great intelligence in finding fault with everything. There is great intelligence in finding solutions, not finding problems. Hello? We must exercise our intelligence because on this one thing, we must come together. It doesn't matter. Your religion, your caste, your creed, your political ideologies, your nationality, your race, none of these things matter because all of us come from the same soil. All of us are thriving on the same soil. When we die, all of us will go back to the same soil. This is a unifying factor. At least let's use soil as one common denominator when we are constantly finding fissures as to how we are different. Isn't it important we also find common denominators as to how we are same? Safe soil is that moment. Thank you very much.
ఒక చిన్న విజ్ఞప్తి అండి, ఇందాక మీకు ఇచ్చిన హ్యాండ్ అవుట్ లో ఈ పుస్తకం ఈ కాగితాలు ఉన్నాయి. అందులో 3-pronged అప్రోచ్ గురించి కూడా ఉంది, దయచేసి చూసుకోండి.
Hello. Namaskar, sir. I'm Neha. Hyderabad city.
Thank you.
It was an honor to see you here in Hyderabad. Sir, my question is, you've been going around for 100 days, not 100 years life for you. So 100 days, I want to leave, and the initiatives which the soil of their country. And
You think there will be some kind of sane routine?
but that's what I want to know, what you were eating, how you were like, it will be not
On an average, there have been days where we have done 900 plus events, not just riding. See, right now I rode from Sholapur to here because we entered Karnataka there. They
the question was that save soil, the concept is you went to other they are taking.
pages. Given nation.